I'm Ben Dollisson, work at Short Marine, head detailer down here at the Spit, Ferguson Marina. Keeps me fit, keeps my tan all year round. I'm really passionate about what I do. You don't want to know what I've found in boats over the years. Rusty lures for one. In this particular boat, plenty of spare change. I think I've filled up my money box 2 or 3 times over with the amount of spare change I've found in behind seats and in old cup holders or bottom of bilges. Some of the things I've seen on interiors of boats that have been repossessed for auction, probably best not shared. Adults only instruments that you can say that I've found, which have been treated with caution, double gloved, put in the bags and straight into the bin. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. So this is a platinum restoration. This is really marketed at someone who really wants the best for their boat. This is the best that you get in our range of services in the detailing here at Short Marine, and it's a true full service. It's a holistic process. Every surface is going to get touched on this boat inside and out, and that's, in my mind, that's the only way to detail properly. First things first, I'll give it a full decontamination wash and a bleach, so that'll wash off any dirt, any oxidized gel coat, and bleach out all the mold in the non-skids. Any pH neutral boat soap or car wash, it doesn't have to be, you just don't want anything heavy duty. Anything that says truck wash or heavy duty is usually going to have some kind of caustic element to it, and all that's going to do is strip away any wax that you've put onto the boat. So that's probably the number one rule is make sure your soap your basic wash down soap is pH neutral. From there, unscrew any fittings that can be unscrewed that aren't structural, such as your press studs for covers and stuff like that. That way we get a nice clean cut through that area, and then we can reattach it after we're finished. For removing your stickers, it's a bit of a multi-stage process, so you just need a heat gun. A plastic razor blade is better. A metal razor blade is going to dig into the gel coat, which is not what you don't want. So a little plastic razor blade, and it's just a matter of finding the right level of heat to soften the sticker, just to get it too hot and it'll melt and it'll just tear off in little pieces. And once it's all gone, then you'll be left with all the sticky glue residue and a bit of acetone or waxing grease remover. We'll usually get that off. If it's stubborn and been baked on for years and years, you might need to wet rub with maybe a 600 or an 800 grit, and then compound it out, those scratches. The upholstery is in pretty good condition overall. It's a bit grubby, it's a bit dirty, but a bit of multi-purpose cleaner. The one we use is called MP121. So a bit of that diluted down with a Scotch-Brite pad first, just to spread the chemical, and then I'll follow through with a white magic sponge. And that is just very, very fine abrasive, and that'll just take off all the dirt and the grime out of the top layer and the grain of that vinyl and bring it back to new. Stainless steel, if it's quite rusty, I've got a few different products, kind of 3 different products that I can use depending on how bad it is. So for hard to reach areas where it's hard to get the elbow grease and polish it, I've got a rust off gel, and that's from Cleaner Works. It's basically an acid paste, and we brush it on and leave it for between 20 minutes to 3 hours, depending on how bad it is. Works well on stainless, works well on gel coat as well. It doesn't drip, it doesn't run, so you can put it in a place and you know it's not going to run down and affect the surface below it, which is great. And then once that's had its chance to work and remove the rust, it's just a matter of rinsing and sponging that off, and then I can finish off with a stainless polish. This is the stainless polish that we use. It's the IMR branded stuff from America. Really, really good quality stuff. Give you at least 3 months protection for tea staining, like light rust coming through. Again, easy on, easy off. Does make a little bit of a mess, so I always try and do my stainless before I start to do my waxing. So if I do happen to get any around the base of the stanchions, I can wax it out. Gentle pressure, rotating all the way around to make sure you get right underneath, because the underside is where the salt crystallizes and sits, and that's where you get most of your rust. Teak is a delicate subject for many boat owners. I've kind of got to approach it really gently, because a lot of boat owners are really one way or the other. So some owners are like, yep, I want it cleaned and I want it brightened, I want it looking golden all year round, I always want it to look like it's brand new. Other owners are old salty sea dogs, and they're very traditional, and no, teak is supposed to go grey, that's how it's supposed to look, it's supposed to be natural. Each owner is different, and that's why I like to discuss teak treatments with each owner. So for this boat, I think what we're going to do is we're going to, once we've finished all our dirty work with our buffing, and we've finished our post-buffing wash to make sure the boat's spick and span ready for waxing, I will clean and brighten the teak with a caustic-based chemical first, and that will darken the timber, that will get any dirt and grime out of the grain of it, and remove any dead fibres, which is the grey timber when teak goes. And then follow that up with an acid, mild acid, diluted down, and that'll brighten the teak, and that'll bring back that real nice yellow golden colour and really make it pop. If you have glass, we like to use an American product that's used on high-end super yachts in the States. It's a brand called Imar. It's a glass polish. You put on by hand. You can use it by machine, but I prefer to do it by hand, and it really gives the glass a real deep clean, gets out any water spotting, and it really makes it shine. It's incredible the difference of, you can have clean glass, but then once it's been polished, it really does make the difference, and it really improves your vision. In the engine bay, just like the bilges, we will we'll suck out any dirty water. We'll get in there and bleach all the flow coat that's painted inside that engine bay. The engine itself in this particular boat is quite clean. It's not covered in oil or grease or anything like that, so it will be a quick go over with the pressure washer, and I'll probably give the flame painted engine cover a bit of a spray wax, a bit of a hand wax, just to make it really pop when you open it up and make that fleck sparkle. Maintenance is probably the key thing for me. So prevention is better than cure. That's one of the things I'm trying to get across to our customers, is that it's better to keep your boat in condition all the time than let it go bad and bring it back up again. The big ball of fire in the sky is your number one enemy. That sun is the harshest you'll find anywhere in the world down here, and it really the boats take a beating down here. So the best way you can protect your boat is to stop the UV from hitting it. So if you can get as many covers as you possibly can, that's what's going to protect your boat. So having quite a large sunshade running from this section here all the way down to the back. This section of the boat here in the cockpit is covered majority of the time, and it's in the best condition because it hasn't been hit by the sun. Where I can, instead of replacing something, I'll try and reuse it or restore it. So, you know, the whole reduce, reuse, recycle ethos is something good. So instead of just getting all new fittings, if they're a little bit rusty, I can put them in a little bit of acid, clean them up. They'll look, you know, 80 to 90% of new, and put them back on, happy days. The key tools for us would be, number one, a decent pressure washer. You don't need anything that's petrol powered. It's way too much pressure, you'll just blow through all your stitching and your fittings and God knows what else. So a decent, high quality, you know, 2000 PSI electric pressure washer is fine. And number one, for restoring a boat, you won't get anywhere with a rotary polisher, or I prefer to them as a buff. But a good quality rotary buff and a Landswell pad will pretty much get you home. And that's just for compounding, that's just for restoring, and then you need to wax on top. For removing your stickers, a heat gun's always good. Heat gun's always good as well. If you've got some older covers that have shrunk a little bit, you can just use it just to heat them up, just to loosen them, to get them to pull into that last press stud. We use Swabbit branded brooms and accessories, so they have all different types of heads, extendable poles, chamois mops, water blades, all that sort of stuff. They even have nets that you can clip onto your pole, boat hooks that clip onto the pole, so you can have one pole and have a whole range of attachments. So instead of having 1,000 poles in your small boat, you can just have one pole with a container full of attachments. I mean, Sydney Harbour, it's pretty hard for me to fault it. It's, for me, the best place in the world. You know, When you leave to go on an adventure overseas, even in Australia at the moment in the current climate, but when you come back and you see the harbour, you see the bridge, the opera house, the water, it just makes your heart swell with pride being a Sydney-sider. It's a really beautiful place, a great place for boating. There's so many different areas. You've got outside the heads, you've got great fishing grounds, you've got plenty of nice secluded coves to anchor and have a swim, plenty of great harbour-based fishing spots as well.